On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, I buy a cheap, exotic car. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Chair Go, and today I am here with my new, let's be honest, it's not exotic at all. It's the worst Porsche you can possibly buy, a Boxster. Now, this was an incredibly cheap, probably the cheapest Boxster on the entire internet, but also the most high mileage Boxster I've found at all. I have searched and searched the internet, and the closest thing I found was about 183,000 miles. This one has more. I'm gonna give you guys a minute and let you guess what the mileage is in the comments below. So just go ahead and comment away. I'll tell you right now that I paid only $9,000 delivered for this 2006 Porsche Boxster. Now, I gotta give a big shout out to my friends at Enthusiast Auto Sales. They brought this car down from Tulsa, Oklahoma. They have a dealership up there that sells actual supercars, not Porsche Boxsters, and all kinds of really cool stuff. They've got a Viper truck in that makes 900 horsepower right now. They sell helicopters, excavators, everything. Huge shout out to those guys for literally bringing me this car, and then we all went out to lunch, and they paid for lunch too. So I got an incredible deal on this Boxster. Likely one of the cheapest Boxster 987.1 sales there's ever been, and it's a manual transmission. If that doesn't blow your mind, usually the cheap ones are the autos. So this has the 5-speed manual in it. Oh, it's locked right now. I got the key. Full disclosure, this actually showed up yesterday when they brought this thing down, and we shot an entire video. And last night I went back to work, and not thinking at all, I formatted my SD card, and that the video's gone forever. So again, huge shout out to those guys for bringing this thing down. We've done a bunch of rallies together. They're really good guys. They actually bought this car to do a rally, did it with it, and then sold it to me. So it's gotta be pretty reliable, and it also drove 3 hours to get here. They had a lot of history on the car. It's been owned in Tulsa for the last couple owners. All the owners were members of Porsche Club of America, so it's got the sticker hanging out back there, and you know it's been well taken care of. Also, you can always tell because the tires are in excellent condition, and they're Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. An amazing tire. I love the PS4. They told me the wing works, which I'm excited about. It has a power wing that comes up like that. Let's hop in here and take a look at this thing. Now, I'm not gonna show you the mileage yet. You gotta wait. The mileage is coming towards the end of the video, just so I can blow you guys' mind then. But this thing is in really good shape. So if you're imagining that it has more than 183,000 miles on it, because I've at least said that. And here is a look at the interior, which honestly looks really good. I mean, that's a commonly used surface, and it's not that worn. The only thing that's a little annoying is this speaker grill is broken multiple places, so I'll probably end up swapping out that grill there. That just happens because everyone, when they're exiting the car, you know, they always drag their feet there on the door sill, and they love to kick speaker grills. And in a low car, that is, it's made even worse. So over here on the seat, we'll take a look at that. There's hardly any wear for the mileage. It's crazy. You can see a little bit of the stitching is worn out, but the seats are still holding up wonderfully. What a testament to Porsche, I've gotta say. That is incredible. This sun visor is broken. It falls down all the time. I think that's actually a pretty common issue with these things, so we've got to get that sorted out. But for the most part, this car has zero problems. There are no lights on the dash other than the airbag light. I don't even think that's a big deal, so we're gonna get all that sorted out soon. We're gonna service this thing. I bought the car just to go to Porsche Palooza. I should probably mention that. Every year we all get together, Hoovie, 100% Jake, a huge group of us, and we all go down to Eureka Springs for Porsche Palooza. We'll all be there this year, and I didn't want to be the guy without a Porsche again, and last year I took the GTR. This year we are taking, I guess, almost a Porsche. I don't like the Boxster. I've said my entire life I would never own a Boxster other than one just to, you know, play with on the channel. I think to most car guys, the Boxster is looked at as possibly the worst of the small 2-seat sports cars you could ever buy in history. Far worse than the Miata, because the Miata is perfect and dead reliable. And then I drove this thing, and I kind of love it. I drove it around to lunch yesterday, and we're gonna take it out here in a minute. And unfortunately, I can't hate on it as much as I thought I could. We'll get back to my hoopty Porsche in just a moment, but first I need to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Omaze. I'm excited to be working with Omaze because they're giving you a chance to win a 1987 Buick Grand National GNX and support a great cause while you're doing it, the ACLU. The ACLU is an organization of people that believe in the power of action. Now this is a car I never thought I would be telling you guys Omaze is giving away. The ultimate car guy car. Omaze obviously gives away supercars all the time, cars you can run down to the dealership and buy yourself any day of the week if you have the money. But a Buick Grand National GNX is not one of those cars. It's a car that's very hard to buy. There were 547 of them made. This is number 51 of the production run. And I can't say it enough. What an amazing car. The car that was beating Ferrari and Porsche, just the destroyer of the 80s, and one that's near and dear to all of our hearts. 3.8 liter turbocharged V6, 4-speed automatic. Let me know what you think about this car. Let me know if you entered in the comments below. And for your chance to win this 1987 Buick Grand National GNX, head on over to omaze.com/watchjrgo to enter for your chance to win today. Like I said, donations support the ACLU. Huge thank you to Omaze for sponsoring today's video and being a continued supporter of automotive creators like me. Now, back to the Hoopty Porsche. I can still call it the worst Porsche there is because they don't make anything cheaper. I was not expecting this to have a power top. Miatas, especially the NA, does not have a power top. You get really used to unlocking the latches, throwing the top back. It works amazing. It drops instantly. And I got in here yesterday and they were like, put the top down. And I was like, no, it's too much work. And then we just hit a switch and it opened. Mind blown. For $9,000, I got a power convertible top. Corvettes didn't even get power convertible tops until like the C6. There's the gauges. We have both keys. You can see key 1 is selected right there. The steering wheel is in excellent shape. There's no wear on basically any surface. The leather looks great. It's got cruise control. There's the light controls, ignition, everything like that. All very simple in the Porsche. There's cruise, wheel tilt, and here in the middle, we have working air conditioning for $9,000. There's the hazards, the central locking. There's the radio, which is gonna go away. We are gonna have to swap that out because it doesn't always work, I gotta say. The one issue with this car is it'll come on when the car comes on, but if you hit power, it will not turn off. So the old Porsche radio has seen some things, and I think it's just kind of started to fail. When it doesn't turn off, all the buttons fail to respond. You can't change sources, you can't do anything. Climate control right there. It's got heated seats, which is awesome for the price point. Again, I can't complain about that. There's your wing controls and your Porsche stability management on-off button there. We've got that nice manual transmission shifter there that doesn't show a lot of wear as well, just unbelievable. E-brake, ashtray, 12-volt cigarette lighter, and a center console with another 12-volt accessory port in there. This has the awesome cup holders out of the current gen Porsches. I honestly love these things. You open up this trim piece and then the cup holders flip shut. Okay, I haven't tried this, I gotta say. There it goes. And then you flip that shut and the cup holders completely disappear. And if you want to open them back up, you just go like that, and then the trim closes as well. So you've got dual cup holders and they honestly work just fine. So I'm a big fan of those cup holders because of how small they are and how well they integrate into the interior. Let's see what's here in the middle. It looks like that is a CD holder, one of the two. Huh. And we've got a pen holder there, and the factory manual is in here as well. Behind me, there's more cool features in the Boxster. It has this slide open storage. I don't know what you're supposed to put back there because it's not a very tall opening, but you can slide these things back and you can put something in there, maybe a laptop or something like that. It would hold that pretty well. Amazingly, this thing has HomeKit up here in the upper console as well. I was amazed by that because it's honestly becoming kind of rare with CarPlay replacing it. And now they charge a lot for it. So the Boxster has HomeLink. Let's drop the top on this thing and show you guys just how great it works. So ignition on, push this button right here. I got the top unlocked. The radio won't shut off again, so I'm gonna have to talk loudly over it while I hold the top button so it can retract. So it's almost done already. Look at that. And the entire thing closes up behind. So that is the interior of the Boxster. Let's take a look at everything else. Here's the front. We'll pop that open on the remote. You can open the front and the trunk on the remote. And of course, the engine is in the back. It is technically mid-engine. Front trunk, it's actually incredibly deep in the Boxster. Factory floor mats, and they're in good condition. That's pretty awesome. And it does have labels here that say DVD navigation and CD changer. None of those are there. I'm not even sure what that one is. There's a wire going to it, but not sure what it is. We've got a big Porsche logo covering up the brake master and everything else that hides up here. And that is where you fill the washer fluid. The battery and the AC service ports are under this cover. That checks out. That's everything there is to see in the front. Pretty simple. And of course, let's open the rear trunk up here. And there's also not much here. A little bit of space, maybe one bag, and another emergency release handle so you can try to escape from this confined space. And here we also have the coolant reservoir with a level that you can read inside the trunk. It's very cool. And you fill the oil from all the way out here. So the engine is of course completely hidden under all of these panels in the trunk. If you need to work on a Boxster 911, Cayman, whatever it is, you pull all of these trim panels out of the back and then you can get to part of the engine. The Boxster is actually easier than the 911s, that's for sure. And then you can go to work on them. But there is no way to see the engine from outside or even inside the car. You gotta take stuff apart. I just jumped underneath this thing and it is insanely clean. It looks like a 5-year-old car underneath. I gotta say, no scrapes on any of the suspension. It all looks like it's perfectly intact. Mind blown. And now I'm gonna show you guys the miles and then we're gonna take it out for a drive. And now you can see it has 193,599 miles on it. About 10,000 more than I've seen on any other 987.1s. This Boxster even sits on 19-inch wheels, 235 series tires, and it has drilled rotors. It's actually quite the performance car, especially for the amount of money I paid. I know it's crazy. There's a lot of people telling me I'll never be able to sell it and get my money back out of it because of the mileage, but I'm not that worried about it. It is a manual Porsche for under $10,000. And when I go to sell this in 2 months, I'm probably gonna ask $10,000. So I'm not trying to mark it up a lot or anything like that. I'm just gonna service everything and fix the little issues it has. Now I know we've been through this a few times on the channel with, well, my 944 was cheap. My Cayenne was not cheap, but it was just perfect and never needed a thing. This car will probably need some things, obviously. First things first, this sun visor, we gotta get that sorted out. So that's high on the priority list. Doing a full service on this thing before I go rip it through the hills, also high on the priority list. We're gonna put some more miles on this, and I'm so happy it has good tires because I'm gonna need them. The GTR was at its limit last year out on Pig Trail. I mean, I was able to get that car into like nice 4-wheel slides that were controlled, and I plan on doing the same thing with this year, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. This thing drives so smooth, just listen to it. That flat 6 purr. Speaking of that flat 6, this is powered by a 2.7 liter horizontally opposed 6-cylinder that makes 240 horsepower and 199 foot-pounds of torque. So when we're talking about those numbers, you know this is no Miata. It weighs a little bit more and it has triple the power that an NA Miata has. And that is quite a bit of power. The two cars drive so differently. It's so quiet in this cabin. It has creature comforts. And when you get into the power, it's there. It is so much quicker than it should be. I gotta say, this is not a bad car at all. Now, it's no 911, which is one of my favorite cars of all time to drive, but it's good. It's very good. Handling's great. The front end feels great. It's sure of itself. I just think this is a really solid car, especially for only $9,000. And that might have something to do with its old price tag of $45,000 when it was new. Even when it was new, it wasn't exactly a cheap car, although it's pretty cheap for a sports car. All right, this is a car, I gotta say. The cars I like driving. This is how they're supposed to be. Why does it have so much power? All we need now are some corners to carve up, so we are headed right to them. Wow, this thing is good. Effortless turn in. I cannot tell you the speed we are currently at. Wow. nothing more Kansas than that. Well, as long as we don't lose this engine to IMS, this may be one of the best cars I've ever bought, I have to say. So there you have it, what's possibly the highest mileage 987.1 Boxster in the US. Huge thank you to my friends from Enthusiast Auto Sales for selling me this in the middle of the night and bringing it to me the next day. I'm really excited to drive this to Porsche Palooza, even though I know everyone there will hate me. Porsche people hate Boxster guys just as much as I hate me for doing this. Huge thanks to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to head on over to omaze.com/watchchairgo to enter for your chance to win that GNX today. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchchairgo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time.
Hey John, just want to say thanks again for your business, and I hope you enjoy the Boxster, and I can't wait to see the content you make with it and see it out at Porsche Palooza. A big thanks from us here at Enthusiast Auto Sales, and we can't wait to do future business with you.
I also hate to say that I love driving this car. It's actually a blast. I did not think it was going to be any good. I just want to know what's up with these like bees. Okay, these are flies. But over here on the truck, these are bees. And they're all over. Where did fall bees come from? Also, the other bee, the RX-8, it's gone. I sold that in the middle of the night, right before they showed up with the Porsche. At like midnight, a kid showed up with a hatchback Honda that was built and bought the RX-8 and rolled out because I can't have too many cars here at one time. So I got the RX-8 running, made a little bit of money, and used that money to help pay for this. If you want this car in, say, mid-November, right after Porsche Palooza, hit up Enthusiast Auto Sales. I'll throw a link in the description below right now so you can see what they've got, go shopping, have some fun. But I think this will be back there for sale if I don't sell it locally.